welcome back to a new video. My name is Maya. If you are new here, if you've been here before, thanks for tuning in. Today I am going to be talking about my November TBR. In November, I'm going to be participating in the Clear Your Shit readathon. This is hosted by Andee or Mouse over on their channel. I will link the Instagram, Twitter, and announcement video, as well as Andee's channel, all down below if you guys want to go check it out. I highly recommend it. It is an amazing readathon. They do a great job with the story and the prompts and making sure all the information everyone needs is super accessible. They have a great FAQ for it. So highly recommend checking it out. So for this readathon, there are 3 prompts released each week. It runs from the 1st of November to the 27th of December. I'm going to be showing you my entire TBR today. Hopefully, I'm going to finish most of these books in November, as I want my December to be a little freer and not have as many reads that I have to do for prompts. So how I'm going to start this is I'm going to first read through all of the prompts and let you know what they are, and then I'm just going to show you all these books in a random order. I'm not going to go in the order of the prompts. I'm just going to read you all of those and then show you all of the books. So I'm going to be reading off the prompts from my phone, so you'll see me looking down a little, and then once I am done with that, we'll go ahead and we'll talk about the books. First prompt is a book where someone dies. Next up is a book where people go on a journey. A book that was recommended to you. A book people talk about a lot. Prompt 5 is your shortest book. Number 6 is steal a book from someone else's TBR. This does not necessarily have to be a TBR made for this readathon. It's just any TBR in general. So if you find a book on someone else's TBR that you want to read, go ahead and steal it. After that, you have a book with gold, silver, or bronze on the cover. Next, we have a bonus prompt, which is read one of the team books. So you either have, you can either choose One Last Stop by Casey McQuestion or They Never Learn by Lane Fargo. After that, it's your smallest book, and this is in length, height, pages, weight, however you want to decide what your smallest book is. Next, after that, we have a spooky book. Number 10 is a book with an animal. And then, let's see. And then prompt 11 will be a mini boss battle, so that is a prompt that has not been announced yet. After that, we have a free space, which is any book. Prompt number 13 is a fantasy book. And then we have a book with a purple cover. Number 15 is a book with a female or non-binary main character. And then we have an intimidating book. And then number 17 is going to be another mini boss battle, and so again, that will be announced later in the readathon. Following that, we have another free space. Number 19 is read a book you can't recall the details of. After that, read a book with water themes or elements. Prompt 21, read a book with a group cast, so more than 3 characters. Following that, we have another free space, and then we have read an opulent book, so gilded, fancy, or sparkly cover, whatever you think an opulent book is. And then finally, our last prompt is the boss battle. This will be the final prompt announced at the very end of the readathon. Some of these prompts will not be released in November, so obviously I will have to read them in December when they are announced, but before that, I'm going to try and read as much as I can. I do have more than one book for some prompts, so you will see quite a few books here. I have about 30 or so books, I believe, that I'm going to be talking to you guys about today. I'm just really going to mention title, and author. Honestly, I know a little bit about most of these books, but I don't think enough to explain them well. I'll do my best if I do know more about them, but we'll just go ahead and get started. So, first up, I have A Tale of Magic by Chris Colfer. This is a magical middle grade, and it follows a group of kids as they go into a different world and kind of figure out what that's like and have to go on an adventure, basically. After that, we have The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angela Boyley. This is kind of a mystery contemporary type of book. I believe it is YA as well. Next up, I have another middle grade. It is Inkspell by Cornelia Funk. This is also going to be a buddy read with the Discord server that I am in. So me and a couple other people in that server are buddy reading this, so I will for sure be getting to this in November. This is the second book in the Inkheart trilogy, so I'm not going to say too much about this because I don't want to spoil the first book. After that, I have The House in the Cerulean Sea. This is supposed to be a really cute found family. It's about a foster home for kind of magical kids and them and just their daily lives and the lives of the guy who takes care of them. I could be wrong on some of that, but that is what I believe it to be. After that, I have In Deeper Waters by F.T. Lukens. This is a kind of fairy tale-esque book. It has to do with princes and pirates and all that kind of stuff. It's quite short, so I should be able to get through this pretty fast. It sounds really good. It did come out this year, so this is one that I'm really looking forward to getting to. After that, I have Kiss My Cupcake by Helena Hunting. This is a adult contemporary romance. I believe it's about two people who run different kind of food services, and they're competing businesses and them falling in love. After that, I have Physics by Andee Sage. This is the third book in the Septimus Heap series. It's just a magical adventure kind of book. Not going to say much about this because I don't want to spoil the rest of the series. After this, I have Kate in Waiting by Becky Albertalli. This is a YA contemporary romance. And then I have another YA contemporary romance as well. And it is The Love Curse of Melanie McIntyre by Robin Talley. So both of these just YA romances that have to do, I believe they both have to do with acting. Next up is another YA contemporary romance. I believe this does have a little bit of fantasy in it, but this is called Afterlove by Tanya Bryant. I say this has a little bit of fantasy because I believe the main character is kind of like a reaper, like a grim reaper, and so there's a little bit of fantasy in that aspect. Next up, I have another middle grade, and it is Exile, Book 2 in the Keepers of the Lost City series. I don't really know a whole lot about this one. I read the first one a little bit ago. I remember enjoying it. I don't remember a ton. But I'm just going to go ahead and jump into this one and hope I enjoy. After that, I have Hot and Badgered by Shelley Lorenstein. This is an adult romance. It's a shifter romance, so I don't know much more about that, but adult romance, pretty basic, you know. Next up, we have The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I've heard tons of people talk about this. I know it's a favorite on BookTube. I'm really intrigued to see what it's about and kind of why there's so much hype around it. I'm really hoping I enjoy it. But also I'm going in with slightly lower expectations because I do know there is so much hype around it. Next up, I have two Sherlock Holmes books. They're both by James Lovegrove, but the first one is The Three Winter Terrors, And the next is The Beast of Stapleton. These are actually books that I got pretty recently. I had never seen or heard of these before. They sounded really good though. Each one kind of has a different premise. This is following 3 different murders over different time. And then this one is kind of following, I believe, like a monster. It's kind of plays on the Hounds of Bakersville's story that is from the Sherlock Holmes stuff. So hoping these are both really good. After that, I have another adult romance, and it is Bad Liar by Lauren Rowe. This is another adult romance, and it's kind of on the college side of it, I believe. I'm not really sure. I got this in a book box, so definitely something I want to read because I did get it, but I don't know a ton about it. After that, I have One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. Sorry, upside down. One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. Female romance. I believe this is adult. Happens on a subway. I know one character is from a different time. Other than that, not really sure what is going to happen. Next up, I have Lore by Alexander Bracken. This is a newer YA, and it is about Greek gods who are kind of cursed to walk the earth for I think like a week or so, and then during that time they can be killed. This has something to do with, I think, a rebellion or something that they caused in the past. However, this time when they come down, something is different, and one of the gods, I think, is trying to make a deal with one of the people who's supposed to be trying to kill them. After this, I have a Stephen King book. That is 11/22/63. This is another buddy read that I'm doing on my Discord. I've never read a Stephen King book, so I have no idea what to expect. I do know that this involves time travel. He's going back to the time of the JFK assassination and kind of seeing what really happened, and I think, you know, what would it be like if that was changed, maybe? It's 800 some pages, so who knows what could go down in this. I'm pretty excited to read my first Stephen King, but at the same time, I'm not sure what to expect because I know you kind of either love his writing or you hate it, so interested to see which side I fall on. Next, I have Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, and this is a YA fantasy that has to do with a librarian who I believe is studying a supposed lost city, but then it turns out that it really does still exist or something like that, and it's kind of his adventure to finding it or saving it, something along those lines. Next, I have another middle grade. Oh, my books just fell. I have another middle grade. This is Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. This is a newer one, and it is about a magical investigation firm, I believe. Her brother goes missing. She gets invited to kind of try out for this firm, and it's her trials and tests to see if she will make it and see if she can find out what happened to her brother. After that, I have another middle grade. It's called The Imaginaries. This is just a little cute, partly illustrated novel, really short, about imaginary friends, and I think one person is coming to look for their imaginary friend, not entirely sure. This is a newer book that I got as well, so I don't know a ton. Next up, I have Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is one that I decided to pick up because I just read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I read that in October. I really enjoyed it, so I want to see if Malibu Rising is just as good. I know it follows one of the husbands in The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, so excited to see his story. After that, we have The Iron Widow. This is a Chinese, this takes place in China. It's kind of a sci-fi, fantasy, like dystopian era. I know it has to do with some war and political stuff and kind of her kind of coming to power sort of thing. I don't really know a ton about it. It sounds really good. It's a newer release though, so I've heard some stuff about it on Twitter, but other than that, I really haven't heard about it anywhere. Next up, I have the entire Brown Sister trilogy. I'm not sure if these are in the correct order, but we have Get a Life, Chloe Brown, Act Your Age, Eve Brown, and Take a Hint, Danny Brown. So these are all just contemporary romances, kind of based on each different sister. I know one has a chronic illness. I think one is just kind of about like a fake relationship, kind of like friends with benefit thing. And then one is about kind of forcing herself to grow up and finally, deal with adulthood. After that, I have Wondersmith, The Calling of Morgan Crow. This is book 2 in the Trials of Morgan Crow series. I read Nevermore the beginning of this year, either the beginning of this year or the end of last year. I really enjoyed it, so I'm excited to see more of her journey in the Wondrous Society and where she goes in that, and kind of what she gets up to in her new kind of life. After that, I have A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This is the first book in the Shades of Magic trilogy. This is about Kel, who can travel between Londons. I know there are 4 different Londons, and I also know it kind of is a little bit of a political fantasy. So it sounds pretty good. And then next up, I have another adult romance. I have The Complete Regret Duet. So this is actually 2 books in one. It is Written with Regret and then Written with You. So 2 books in here. I will be reading both parts for the month of November. And I don't really know what this is other than adult romance. So yeah. That was my last book to show you guys for my November TBR. Like I said earlier, everything for the readathon will be linked down below, as well as Andee's channel, or Mouse. All of my socials will be linked as well if you want to go check me out anywhere else. Go ahead and let me know down below if you've read any of these, if you like some of them, if you didn't like some of them, if you think I'm going to like some of them, and then go ahead and like and subscribe if you want to see more from me. I really appreciate any kind of interaction you guys give me. It means a lot to me. And then thanks so much for watching, so have a wonderful day. Bye.